A Christchurch family is being forced to leave New Zealand because the parents can't get residency for their 4-year-old daughter.
Ruby O'Connor was born in New Zealand but has been denied residency because her medical bills run into the tens of thousands of dollars a year.
Her parents say that's not fair. Here's national correspondent Amanda Gillies with our latest Because It Matters story.
Ruby O'Connor has a giggle to melt your heart. Like any Kiwi kid, she loves playing with mum and dad. She's 4 years old, born in New Zealand, raised in New Zealand, but now being kicked out of New Zealand because she has a disability and medical needs.
She's just not wanted, and it's pretty much massive discrimination against someone with a disability. Even though she was born here, you feel like you're not good enough, you know?
The family's heartbreaking story began with such promise. Dad Bryan is a builder who moved here at the end of 2013 to help with the rebuild in Christchurch post-earthquakes. Mum Kerry, a beauty therapist, arrived a month or so later, attracted to the lifestyle. Both are Irish and had working visas. They met in Christchurch, fell in love, and in 2017 welcomed Ruby to their world.
So we knew there was something wrong immediately. I knew there was something wrong immediately.
When Ruby was 2, she started having seizures. Soon after, she was diagnosed with TBCK, a rare neurogenetic syndrome. She's the only person in New Zealand to have it and one of just 17 worldwide.
It affects every aspect of her life. She can't walk, talk. She has seizures, she's peg-fed, so she doesn't eat anything orally.
She's also visually impaired, has osteoporosis and is immune compromised. She's already been hospitalised in ICU with serious bouts of pneumonia.
We nearly lost her on 2 occasions. It was quite close. They had no hope for her, but she kept fighting.
And as wee Ruby fought for her life, her parents fought hard to keep her in the country, in the only home she's known. The family wanted residency. New Zealand has been their home for 8 years, but they say they were told only mum, dad and their healthy baby son could stay. Ruby couldn't because of her disability and medical needs. Even though she was born here, she was included in her parents' visa application as a dependent child. So the family spent thousands of dollars and thousands of hours to secure her residency, applications, lawyers, letters, but to no avail.
We just meet this block every time, and she's constantly refused because of her medical criteria.
Green MP Ricardo Menéndez March says this is a disgrace. He wants the immigration disability policy changed.
It's deeply painful to see our immigration policy once again strip migrants of their human rights by design. And I think it is time that the minister intervenes, stop these deportations and scrap the acceptable standards of health policy so that disabled people are no longer discriminated.
We requested an interview with the Immigration Minister but were declined, so we approached the Prime Minister.
When you individualise it and you talk about individual cases, those stories are hard, very difficult. But you can understand why we have to give consideration to that, because we do have a universal public health system. Once you're here on long-term visas, you receive that free care. So we need to make sure we can continue to provide that free care well to everyone.
Ruby's medical costs run into the tens of thousands a year, but her parents say they pay taxes and desperately want the immigration policy changed.
She deserves to be treated like any other normal 4-year-old. She still has needs and wants, and it's just inhumane to be pushed out like that.
After all the hard work we put in, paying tax and giving back to the community, Ruby was born here at the end of the day, it's not fair on her and not fair on us she's being deported, basically.
That means on March 15, the whole family will bid farewell to New Zealand, their home, their friends, their medical community for good, and start all over again a world away back in Ireland, where they'll give Ruby the treatment she needs. Amanda Gillies, Newshub.